on the News Channel 5 network. This is Titans Talk.
Welcome, everybody, to Titans Talk here on News Channel 5. We're with you for the next hour. Your phone calls, of course, welcome, 737-7767. Anything on your mind regarding the Titans and their loss yesterday at Indianapolis, 24-17. So that's 11 straight losses now for the Titans to the Indianapolis Colts. Think about it, folks. I started covering the Tennessee Titans in the fall of 2012. I have yet to see the two-tone blue defeat the Indianapolis Colts. 11 straight. And yesterday's loss really taking a lot of starch out of the Titans' playoff hopes. Still 5 games left for them. Anything can happen, but it looks like they're going to have to win out and get some help. We're going to talk we're going to hear from several Titans players as well as head coach Mike Mularkey throughout the hour, and your phone calls. Where are you at with the Tennessee Titans right now? Because quite frankly, they're about where I thought they would be, around 500, much more competitive, an improved roster. But I know the losses are frustrating for a lot of you fans. So anything that's on your mind regarding the Titans, give us a call, 737-7767. But we're going to start the show. You can't do Titans Talk without the voice of the Tennessee Titans, our good buddy. There are no flags on the field or in the studio, but we do have Mike Keith on the line, voice of the Titans. Mike, good evening. First of all, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to you and your wonderful family, and thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Well, John, Thanksgiving is a wonderful time, certainly, and one of our favorite times. So happy Thanksgiving to you, the entire News Channel 5 family, and everybody who's tuned in tonight. Sure.
I mean, any day where you're supposed to eat a lot and watch football, that, my friend, is a holiday, no?
How could that be a bad thing?
All right, let's get into it. Titans lose at the Colts. You were there, 24-17. And, Mike, you know, this is a much improved roster. We've talked about it ad nauseum. They're a much more competitive team. But this was a team that had high hopes, not only for this game, but the stretch run of the season. Again, still 5 games to go. Anything could happen. But with so much on the line yesterday and so much talk about we have to end the streak to the Indianapolis Colts, we finally have to get over and beat them. How in the world does this team come out and go down 21-0 in the first half?
Well, a lot of things went wrong. I would contend it's probably the worst 28 minutes the team has played all year because they couldn't stay on the field offensively. They couldn't convert third downs. And defensively, they gave up some third and longs. They gave up 3rd and 13 and 2 3rd and 10s. Andrew Luck was extremely hot to begin. And when he gets hot, he's a really scary player. You just cannot let him get going. And, you know, it was almost a repeat of what happened in San Diego. Mm-hmm. Almost exactly the same thing. The Titans' last 2 road games, they've gotten off to just atrocious starts. And you can't put yourself down in that way. Now, you got to give them credit for fighting back, for hanging in there. It looked like this one was going to get away and end up being a big blowout. And, you know, at the end of the ball game, you've got a good chance to tie. But you just can't put yourself in that kind of hole in this kind of game. And, you know, I heard what you said in the open, and I think you're right. The progress is there, and I don't think you throw out the progress because of what happened yesterday. But getting over this next hump is going to be tougher than getting over the hump of being competitive or, you know, being one of those teams that has respect. I think the Titans have overcome that.
Right.
Gotten to this point. But now to win big games on the road and to knock off teams that you need to knock off, you know, that's the next step, and it's harder because you're going to have to go outplay the Indianapolis Colts. And in both games against the Colts, the October 23rd game and this one, they simply didn't do that.
No question about it. We're talking with Mike Keith, voice of the Titans, here on Titans Talk. Your phone calls welcome as well, 737-7767. And I think a lot of Titans fans are frustrated by what you just mentioned, Mike. I had a couple of people tweet me yesterday saying, yeah, I understand the team is better, but it's still a loss, and it's still a frustrating loss, right?
Sure, absolutely. And I'm glad people are thinking that way because, I mean, you don't want to get the participation trophy. That's right. But that's not what the NFL is all about. The NFL, the beauty of the NFL is its wins and its losses. And only one team in the NFL will have a great year this year. some teams will have good years, and some teams will have better years, and will feel excited about their progress. But only one team has a great year because it's a very simple standard. So while there are a lot of things that you can take out of any game as positives, I would give you Exhibit 1 is Derek Morgan's incredible performance yesterday.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, you're right. It's still a loss, and that's what it comes down to. You didn't win the ball game. You almost did this, you almost did that, but you didn't win the ball game. And that's what Mike Mularkey's preaching. He's like, we have got to finish the Parrish Cox play in the end zone on T.Y. Hilton. We have to finish there. We've got to bat that ball down. That ball cannot be caught. Even though Hilton made a great play, you've got to find a way. And that's where the Titans are at this point. They're still not finding a way to finish the way they need to.
Mike, you mentioned Derek Morgan. He did have a solid game yesterday. Only 2 sacks overall, though, for the Titans defense. And who am I to question Hall of Famer Dick LeBeau and how he's going to run his defense? But you mentioned Andrew Luck converting those third downs, those third and longs, especially in the first half. It looked like the Titans were only rushing 3. Why not in that third and long situation? Why not send at least one extra guy? I understand it's Andrew Luck, and if he beats the blitz, he can burn you deep down the football field. But
right.
in a game where you're trying to be aggressive and you're trying to get over the hump and you're trying to, that Andrew Luck is the one guy that can beat you in this game, I was a little curious as to why Dick LeBeau chose to sit back in coverage early in the game and only rush 3.
Well, he's trying to show him different looks. I mean, that's what it comes down to. He wants to show him 3-man rush, 4-man rush, 5-man rush, 6-man rush. He wants to show him all different sorts of coverages, and the kid got him. And the other thing he can do, and, he did it on the last 3rd and 5, too. The Titans have excellent pressure on him. Mm-hmm. They force him out of the pocket. He's rolling. He's in trouble, and he fires downfield and finds T.Y. Hilton to complete the pass that ends the game. There aren't but about 5 quarterbacks in the NFL who can make that throw. Fortunately, the Titans have one of them, too, in Marcus Mariota. But you're just trying everything you can with Luck. And he's so smart, and he's such a great improviser. He has that Ben Roethlisberger quality about him. But what he has that's really scary is he's got a lot more speed.
Yeah.
He's much faster. He's a guy who runs in the 4.6s at 245 pounds. I mean, think about this. Think about Derrick Henry. That's who's playing quarterback for the Indiana. Now Derrick Henry is maybe a little bit faster than Andrew Luck, but Andrew Luck is an amazing athlete. And, you're just trying to give him all different sorts of things, and some work and some don't. And, if you'd have blitzed the house and he'd have hit a seam and gone 80 yards, you'd have said, why didn't you sit back and play coverage on 3rd and 13? That's the difficulty when you're taking on a guy who's this good. He was the number 1 pick overall for a reason.
No question about it. Mike Keith, voice of the Titans, joining us here on Titans Talk here on News Channel 5+. All right, let's talk about the Titans offense a little bit. Didn't really get going until late in the second quarter. Colts did a nice job on DeMarco Murray, only 70 yards on 21 carries.
Yeah, it's a tough day for the offensive line overall, and that's saying something because they still gained over 350 yards and did some good things. But the Colts did a good job in their gaps on the run defense. They really had a good plan that way. They sort of forced the Titans to throw the football, and the Titans did throw the football rather well. The offensive line did not have as good a day in protection as they have had. So I think, for the O-line, it was not their best performance overall, and you have to credit the Colts for that and understand that they take advantage of their surroundings. They know the noise makes a difference. They're going to be able to use their speed on that turf, and they certainly did that in the first half without question.
Yeah, Colts 5 sacks on the afternoon. When you take a look at, again, the streak, Mike, 11 straight now, the Colts beating the Titans. Now, these are some of the most mentally tough athletes you'll find, NFL football players, but don't you think at some point it starts to creep into guys' heads? I saw the disappointment, looks on a lot of faces, guys like Jarrell Casey, Coach Mularkey, and a lot of the other players that Steve Lehman talked to after the game yesterday, and especially Jarrell Casey. And it was almost as if he wanted to throw his hands up and say, I don't know what else to do to beat these guys. Do you think it starts to get in their heads?
That's hard to say. I mean, because
come on, put your psychologist hat on, Mike. Come on, let's play psychologist here on Titans Talk.
Certainly gets to me.
Yeah. Well said.
For all of them, but the difficulty really becomes it's a guy like Luck who is just the bane of our existence. He keeps making big plays in big situations that seem to make the difference in these games, and you get the sense. I mean, the Titans are certainly competitive with the Colts. It's not like the Colts are that much physically better, statistically better. It's just a matter of finding a way to win. And I mean, we were in this situation for quite a while with Jacksonville, and then in 1999 finally took care of that and changed the direction of that series, which was a big deal. Pittsburgh had us that way when we first moved here. They owned us, and we turned that around over a period of time. It's just tough breaking through these walls when you're dealing with rivals. And we've got a rivalry, and right now they've got their hands around our neck, and we can't get loose.
Mike Keith, the voice of the Titans, joins us here on Titans Talk. All right, let's look ahead. 5 games to go. As we said, anything can happen. It looks like the Titans are going to have to win out and get some help if they want to make the postseason. Houston taking on the Raiders right now in Mexico City. They lead the division, 6-3 record coming in. Titans do have a bye week after they go to Chicago this Sunday. Jonathan Hutton, our colleague, your colleague from Titans Radio, our colleague here at News Channel 5, brought up a good point last night on Sunday Sports Central. He says he wants to see this team still play and act like they're still in contention. Is that one of the keys for this team going forward to try and finish this season strong?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thought has to still be winning the division. And you're going to need help to do that. There's no question. But the Colts have a very rigorous schedule remaining. And it sounds like they may not have Andrew Luck Thursday night to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. It may be Scott Tolzien, as Luck is in concussion protocol right now. Mm-hmm. And I mean, Houston has a difficult schedule the rest of the way too. So from that standpoint, you've got to be thinking, if you want to stay in the playoff race, at least 4 of the 5, and probably all 5 of the 5. Probably.
Right.
I've seen stranger things happen. I mean, we came into the end of the 2006 season, and we had to have 5 things happen to give us a chance to go to the playoffs, and all 5 happened, and we didn't win our ball game. So, I mean, they said the percentage chance was less than 10%. So what you're going to do is you're really focused on this ball game this weekend for a couple reasons. First of all, on paper, this is a team you're better than, but you're on the road, and you have not gotten off to good starts on the road. You got to take care of that. You've got to go to Chicago. You got to be ready to play. If you're better than the Bears, which it looks like you are, you've got to go take care of them. And it's really important because you want to be 6-6 going into the bye with yourself having a 4-game season and saying, hey, who knows what might happen. You don't want to be 5-7 on a 2-game losing streak coming off a loss to the Bears, because then you get into that tough territory when you're just hanging on the ledge. If you're 6-6, you're still in it. And you're just asking to go to December in it. That's all you can ask for right now, is to stay in the picture. Are the chances bleaker? Sure they are. I mean, you look at the numbers. You understand the numbers. But you also understand that as long as you're in the middle of it, this is a wacky league.
Yes.
There are no, as we entered this weekend, there were only 8 teams with more than 5 wins in the league.
Wow.
I mean, it's so jumbled up, so you just don't know what's going to happen. As you start jumping up and down, celebrating something, you realize you move on to the next week, and how you feel can be completely different in the space of a week. So, we'll see. I think this team's going to, is absolutely going to compete, but I think this game is so crucial to the rest of the season because you've got to go into the bye on a positive. You have to. If you go into December 6-6, I don't think you have anything to worry about as far as mindset.
Yeah, no question about it. And as you alerted me earlier this afternoon. The Bears may not have Jay Cutler for this game coming up. Titans at the Bears this Sunday in Chicago. Jay Cutler suffering a shoulder injury yesterday in the loss to my beloved Giants, and the team is seriously considering shutting him down, so you may get a break there.
Maybe Matt Barkley, and Matt Barkley has not made a start in the NFL, but as every Titan fan knows, backup quarterbacks can be extremely dangerous.
Yes.
We've unfortunately had a history of having some backup quarterbacks play great games against us, so I don't think that sets everybody off with bells and whistles going on and feeling like you're a big favorite. And the Bears have a good defense. They have a running game, and it's hard to play in Chicago on November 27th. It is hard to do. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be 50 degrees. That means it's going to feel like 25 with that wind. You've got to throw and catch and kick in that wind. And if the wind doesn't affect the game, that's a rarity. You just understand playing in Chicago in late fall is a real challenge, no matter what the Bears' record is. So you've got to find a way to go win the football game, and that's what the Titans' challenge is this week. And it's not easy because yesterday was disappointing. Yeah, I mean, you are disappointed that it didn't go better because that was such an opportunity for the Titans, John.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean there are not going to be other ones. There will be other opportunities, but that one is one that you say, thought we had a real chance, and even thought they had a real chance. I really believe if the Titans get that game even, I think they win that football game because I think momentum would have been on their side in a certain way. I think they would have rolled on through, but it's like when you can't pull even, when you can't get up the mountain all the way because you've made the mountain too high in the first half, you pay for it, and that's what happened.
No question about it. Mike Keith, the voice of the Titans, best NFL play-by-play man there is. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Titans Talk. We'll see you later in the week. And once again, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, sir.
Thanks for saying that, John, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody who's part of the program and everybody watching tonight.
That's why he's the best. The great Mike Keith. Always great to have him on Titans Talk. All right, time for our first break. When we come back, we're going to hit the phones, find out what you think about the Tennessee Titans. Where are you at with the Titans? They're 5-6, still in the hunt for a playoff spot, maybe even the division. A winnable game next week in Chicago. Are you still on board with the Tennessee Titans? James, David, I see you. Stay right where you are. We're going to get to you after the break. You're watching Titans Talk on News Channel 5+.